Dan, when you look at Possession, what jumps out and pleases you the most?
I like the way we were able to tell the story visually. It's a really wonderful script by Jennifer Harlow, and we took a lot of care in the way that we shot it, and we put a lot of thought into that, to try to bring the cinematography and the direction, together with the writing, and that's what I'm most proud of.
Yeah. When is there a moment in the film that jumps off the screen for you, where you go, that's what I really want to do?
Yeah, I would say, right off the bat, the first 5 minutes of the film are very exciting to watch. It kind of captures, a lot about the story and the underbelly, that we were working for. And we jumped through a lot of hoops to get that particular footage. So, while there are many parts, that I'm very, very proud of, I would say, I always get excited when I see, the first 5 minutes, the opening sequence.
Let's talk about shooting in Texas. How good was that for this film? Because it's really right for the screenplay. It really needs to be here.
Yeah. Well, perfect, because it takes place in Texas, and it takes place in the desert, and the landscape is the film. And
it's very John Ford of you.
It's very, for me, Texas was new, and when I came down for Location Scout, I remember meeting Mark Reeb, who's a producer and actor in the film, and Jennifer Harlow, and we went out to the location we'd be shooting at, and I felt like I was in an alien planet. I thought, this is such a harsh environment, and but after a very short time, I started to really dig into it. And by the time that we started shooting, I felt at home there, and it felt very natural to me. In fact, when we finished shooting in Merkel and went back to Austin to shoot for a couple of days, that felt alien to me. And coming back to New York, I wished I was back in the desert, so. Lyle
Lovett has a song that says, "That's right, you're not from Texas, but Texas wants you anyway."
Right, well.
There's something rather remarkable about a place that when you land looks like nothing, and then you realize it's everything.
Yes, I would definitely agree. And I've been lucky to live in many different places, and I can say in all honesty, I'm thrilled, to have been here and worked here, and whenever I get to come back, I'm always very happy.
Lyle Lovett also wrote a song that said, "You can have my girl, but don't touch my hat," which I think he wrote on American Airlines when they tried to take his hat in first class.
That's great.
Let's talk about the film festival. When you get it, you can apply and get in, and that whole process of getting into the film festival. You're in a festival that really celebrates movies, and it really is more about the work and about the film than it is about necessarily who's in the film sometimes.
Right.
You feel that, and you feel embraced by the Lone Star Film Festival?
I do. I think that every film, every work of art, perhaps, has an audience, and it's just a matter of finding who your audience is. And so when your film gets accepted here at the Lone Star Film Festival, you know that you are coming home, because this is a place that has embraced your particular project. And so when our film was accepted at this festival, I knew it was the right place for it to be, and I'm very excited to come down here and meet the other filmmakers and meet the programmers and the other artists that'll be here.
In a perfect world, what's the future of Possession?
The future is for the people who are interested in this kind of film to get to see it, and regardless of where it plays. That could be in New York or Uzbekistan, it could be anywhere. I think that's the thing that excites me the most.
And last two questions. Did you end up with the film that you set out to make?
That's a good question. I think the film that we end up with, I have to apply this to every project I've worked on, is vastly more intriguing than the thing that you set out to do. because you have in your mind this the way this thing is going to turn out, and there are so many people involved in the making of a film, and they all add their own particular flavor to it, that what you wind up with is something that's a lot richer than you could have imagined. And so that's how I feel about the film. Everyone that worked on it gave it everything they had, and we wound up with a very interesting film.
Was there at any point where you started looking at Texas-made movies before you came out here?
I had seen, some films that were shot here, and I know that there are a lot of filmmakers down here doing great stuff.
But it really goes back. Bonnie and Clyde was shot here.
Right.
I'm thinking Tender Mercies, Trip to Bountiful.
Yeah.
That landscape.
Yeah. Yes. Although I didn't go back and study them per se.
Right.
There were things that I liked, even in some, from other countries. I'm very drawn to the films of Tarkovsky and the way that he deals with the landscapes. And so those became important, and mixing that kind of an influence with the landscape of Texas, I thought was very intriguing. So, when you look at a film like The Stalker, we definitely took an influence from there in trying to give to present the landscape as a kind of a spiritual body, and then having seen Tarkovsky's films and looking at films also that were shot here, you see the same thing. So I guess I took inspiration from many different sources.
Last question: what is it about directing? What is it about creating, making films that you're passionate about? What is it about that process that fills you up?
Well, it's a very complex. It's on the one hand, you're working with many people, and that's interesting because it's like being on a boat, with a lot of different people with different sensibilities and different diets, and then there's a technical aspect, and that's very intriguing, getting the image on video or on film, and for Possession we shot on both. There's a human aspect to it, the endurance required at times to make a film, and the way all that comes together, it feels almost like a physical event, where you bring as much of yourself to it as you can. There's no one single part of it that I enjoy more than the other.
Right now, enjoy the festival.
I will.
Hey, welcome back to Texas.
Thank you very much.